Hi, happy Thursday. I'm Nicole with Equally Creative by Nicole or Equally Creative Living. Both of those names belong to me. And I didn't want you to be confused if you're following me on Facebook. So tonight I am sharing the cutest card that I have made for this Fun Fold week. And it is featuring the Hearts and Hugs, which will be available May 1st. And it also has our brand new Summer Splash color today. And let's see what else. A brand new embossing folder. I just went all new today. So let me go ahead and put my camera down. Don't forget to stop in, say hi. Of course, hearts, love, like, whatever you choose to give from your heart would be wonderful. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to share first these new In-Color Designer Series papers. I do believe I have shared them before, so I'm just going to show you the Summer Splash versions. Okay, so this has these little polka dots, swirls, outlines, not really sure how you would describe that. And then this is the back side of that. You can see that fun little pattern. Then we have this fun stripe, and the back of that are these wonderful leaves, which I will be using some more of. And of course, when you buy the In-Color pack, you are going to get 5 colors of all of these different designs. Okay. So this is that Summer Splash color. We are going to use it today to create this Fun Fold card, which is sending a big hug. So it's there when you need it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is grab a card base. My card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score 2 3/4 inches from each side. I'm just going to move some things around. Let me grab my paper trimmer here. So I'm going to use this light color blade because I don't want a deep cut. I just want a light score. So I'm going to go 2 3/4 inch from this end. And then I'll flip this around and do 2 3/4 of an inch from this end. That is going to help create the Fun Fold piece, just like this. So this is a gatefold. However, it is probably more of a landscape version compared to what you may have seen in the past. All right, I'm going to leave this up here for just a second as I pull all my pieces out. So I do need a background piece for that inside. I did go ahead and I stamped these adorable walruses. Now, if you saw any of, if you've seen any of the other Fun Folds this week, I did do a little bit of coloring. Well, for this, I wanted to show you that you don't have to color everything that is a line drawn piece of stamping art. So we did this on gray granite, and it's fine just the way it is. But I'm going to show you how to take it up just a tiny notch, okay? So then I've got 2 of the 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 pieces for the card base here. That's this piece, okay? Then I've got a 4 by 3 DSP. That's going to go on here. I can use either side. I'm going to do the opposite for today. And then I've got 2 pieces of, excuse me, basic white. These are 4 inches by 2.5 inches. And then that piece in the middle here is a standard card insert, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to use that. All right. So I think that is all the measurements. You will need a scrap of whatever gray you want, unless you're going to color. And that's it. we will use our embossing machine. I'm going to go ahead and get that part out of the way. So this is the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. And because it is a full-size embossing folder, I'm going to use the full-size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I am simply going to put in my two basic white pieces, and I'm just laying them in here both at one time. And then my trusty base is going to tell me that I only need the base and this 3D embossing plate on top. I do want to send this through with the fold first. Just layer that like a sandwich and run that through. And I will have these two pieces embossed and ready to go when we adhere that to the card. You can see that dimension. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. All right, so while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out these cute walruses. So for that piece, I'm going to need my base. I'm going to need this die cut plate here. And then I'm going to need two of these cutting plates. They do get kind of ugly looking as they get cut upon. However, you can get new ones. You can replace one at a time. I tend to only replace the bottom. And then the top one, once it gets kind of cloudy looking and the bottom is no longer cutting well, I will swap, put a brand new on top, move my top to the bottom, and it just keeps going like that. Just kind of recycles them. There are dies for this, so you can get a combo as soon as it is available. We call those bundles. Those numbers are listed in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of washi tape to keep this in place so that it cuts the parts that I want it to cut and nothing extra. And hopefully it doesn't move around. So put my top plate on and I will send this through. Now, if you've never had one of these brand new, the first time you send it through, it sounds like you are breaking somebody's back, literally cracking their bones. And that is that die kind of cutting into the plate. It's not really a big deal, but it will scare the crap out of you. And you will think you are breaking your machine. So I try to let people know ahead of time nowadays. Because I've had people call me, oh my God, you didn't tell me. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And you know, it's a nightmare when you do it the first time. You would think I would have remembered my first time panicking and screaming and calling my demonstrator friends. I think I broke it. No, you didn't break it. It just makes that noise. All right. I have no idea how this was on here at the moment. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just send that back through in there, tuck it away. It's going to go on a magnetic sheet soon enough. All right. So we are going to do a tiny bit of some accent coloring. Let's see where I put, there's the sample card. So I just gave them some little extra folds where the artist has already created some shadow and wrinkle in their skin. And honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of draw along those lines and added a little extra shadowing to their wrinkles. And I did a little bit with the light color, and then I went back and did a little bit with that dark color. And I like the way it looks. And remember, there are no Stampin' Police. So if you like the way it looks, you do you, right? I know that's become cliche, but it's truly, honestly, the truth. You do you. So I'm just adding just a little extra where the folds might be a little deeper. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too fancy. Okay, so that is what that looks like. All right, now we can go ahead and we're going to finish our stamping. So on my original card, I went ahead and I used the Memento ink for this, but I'm going to go ahead and use Summer Splash so you can see what that looks like on the white. So I'm going to grab an extra bit of scraps for that outside piece. I do keep these handy. If you are cutting lots of bases, you end up with a lot of these little 1/2-inch pieces, and it's perfect for little sentiment strips. So on the inside, we're going to do so it's there when you need it. And I'm just going to kind of line this up a little bit on this grid so that it's a little straighter, so I don't make it too crooked on the inside. While there are no stamping police, I still want it to look halfway decent. All right, so I'm just placing this somewhere near the top. There is that beautiful color. So it's there when you need it. And then we'll set that aside and let's go ahead and do our sending a big hug. And I just kind of did this toward the edge so that I can cut the diagonal for that. Okay. All right. Super quick and easy fun fold cards. I didn't get too complicated with any of these. Again, I wanted you to be able to replicate these at home. Nice and easy. Especially if you were to grab a kit, even if you don't have these stamps yet, you would be able to put this together with something that you do have. So I'm putting that inside piece down, centered, okay? And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to go ahead and add these embossed pieces to those flaps. Just using some Stampin' Seal here. And again, centering these on that panel. Just like that. Okay. So there we have our outside. All right, so here's the tricky thing that I did. Now, you can layer this directly inside here, and that's going to be just fine. I wanted to add a little bit of interest, so I added this at a diagonal. And when you add this to the card itself, you are going to want to line up this piece here. So you kind of have to ignore the diagonal piece and pretend it's straight, because when I go to put this on, I want to line up this Summer Splash color, that layer, and everything else can be cattywampus. That is a technical term if you didn't know. All right, so let's go ahead and add on these other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how fancy this looks, right? So snip, snip, just like that. Nothing special, no special tools, just some snips. And I mean, super simple, but I think it gives a lot of wow for its simplicity. All right, so we're going to add our adorable walruses to this. And again, we're using our Summer Splash layer as our guide for adding this. We're going to put this a little towards the bottom of that, centered. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this up on dimensionals as well. And then we're going to add this so that it hangs off of the edge just a tiny bit at the top right. And I am going to do this just to make sure. Okay, I want to make sure I don't have any glue hanging over. I'm actually going to lift it a little bit higher. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to add this just to this side here. And in order to do that, the most effective way is going to be to put my dots in here. Make sure to pull them in from the edge because it's only going to go up to that edge right there. I'm going to put one in the middle just to make sure it's well supported. These could be in even closer and it'll still hold that piece together. But what you want to be able to do is line this up and center that summer splash piece. So I'm going as close to the edge of my dimensionals as possible and putting that down on there. And then our very last component is going to be to add those fun In-Color sparkle gems, shimmer gems. And again, I went with these 5 cards this week. I went color with color. So we're going to add our Summer Splash Blue to our card. And you could put these any way you would like. I tend to do 3s. I'm a little boring that way. Sometimes I do pairs and then 3. I really like that there this time. So that is fun fold number 3. Again, super simple fun folds. Do you like all one color or do you like having that little dark sentiment on there? I would love to know. And I think, so we have done 3 cards this week so far. This is card number 3. If you have not checked out the previous videos, this was yesterday's video right here that had some sets available right away. The Hello Sentiment set was available. Okay, that was yesterday's card, courtesy of Michelle Litwiller. She helped with that one. This was our very first card, which is a little bit more fancy of a fun fold. It is a gatefold card, easel card, gatefold easel. So this was card number 1. I did this one on Tuesday night. If you want to go back and check that out, I do give you the measurements if you want to recreate those at home. And if you do, please tag me. Let me know that I gave you a tiny bit of inspiration. That is what brings me lots and lots of joy. I hope you have a great Thursday evening, and I will see you back here tomorrow. I have no idea what time, but I have another fun fold to share with you. I'll see you later.